Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Commissioner.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Jeremy Santos. I'm the owner of Orlando Bearded Vegan LLC. Um, we have been creating events for about 3 years in Central Florida. But the business actually started as me being an influencer content creator. I really just wanted to share my experience being vegan as a person of color and a male. And really, that has kind of grown and developed as growing with the community. We've seen that Orlando has been a hotspot for plant-based foods, and I've been a part of that growth and really wanting to get a part of that. So, on top of events, we provide consulting services as well to help local restaurants expand their vegan options and help have a vegan place for someone to eat in all of our restaurants or learn about wellness as well.
And what inspired you to become vegan?
It was a long transition for me. It's been almost a decade. When I was younger, I had a lot of stomach GI issues, and I went to see a gastroenterologist. And during that time, I realized that I just had to go through elimination diet, and I started eliminating dairy and like heavy meat. And throughout that, it kind of really transitioned where I started as pescatarian. It was that for a year and a half, and then vegetarian for a year and a half. And what I noticed is during that time, I was also shifting my mindset. So it wasn't just for health, but it was also, I was trying to be more environmentally friendly, take a practice to look more inward, like practice mindfulness. And they started to find threads throughout in my life. And I realized that being vegan for me was a way I can not just impact my health, I can impact the environment. Hence my logo is like me, like holding up the planet, and also, animals, and be more mindful in that. So that transition kind of came a long way, and it was really branched in all three of those things.
What are some of the misconceptions about being a vegan?
Yeah, we see those a lot. I mean, I deal with these all the time, but it's, where you're getting your protein from, or our ancestors ate meat, you have to eat them. It's not healthy for you. Those are some of like the top ones, that I deal with. Or, why are we not eating meat if it's available to us? And all of those things are changed by just science, and then not even looking at the fact that the way of saying, hey, if we really look at the impact, the water use we're using, the land to maintain livestock and whatnot, we're really taking away from our environment. But protein and, those common things that you kind of see, those are the main ones. I would say, where's your protein? Our ancestors ate that, or you're eating rabbit food. Yeah.
That is funny. Well, I'm pescatarian, but
Yeah.
the protein thing. I'm like, where do you think the cows get their protein
Exactly.
from? They get it from the grass.
Yep.
Greens have just as much protein as
Yeah.
animals, or
We
more.
eat what the animals you eat. That's really what it ends up being. Is you just cut out one section of it, and that's where we're getting
Cut out the
protein.
middleman.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
Orlando's, or I'll just go a little bit wider, Orange County is seeing more of a change in how we look at our restaurants, and we're getting more fancy. We're becoming more of a foodie culture here, which is really great. So what have you done, or that you feel you have had an impact on adding these vegan options to these menus?
Yeah, I think it's been important for me to have vegans have a seat at that table. And we're starting to see that with some of these high-end restaurants, is making sure that if they're either opening as a high-end restaurant or they're expanding their options, that they're thinking about us. And a lot of ways to reach them is business to business. Businesses understand, hey, we need to talk about revenue and dollars and profits, in that finance speak. And really understanding that, veganism and plant-based as a whole has a huge market share globally right now. So letting them reach that, we don't just have our local Orlandians or Central Florida, hosts, but we host thousands, millions of tourists as well, that they come from places where veganism is just as large, if not larger. So really just enlightening them to that profit share that they can get on, and really understanding that, hey, there's a few minor steps you can make in your kitchen that can give you big profits and help have you another option without having to regenerate the entire wheel or change a ton of practices.
What type of events have you hosted in the past?
Yeah, so we hosted quite a few across most of Central Florida. Here in Orlando, we've done stuff out in Apopka as well, Lake Nona. We've had things from Veg Fest as well, so your traditional Veg Fest that you can see, speakers, more educational based. We've had more night events, like kind of like night parties, farmers markets. One of my main events that I hold is an annual food and wine festival as well. So those, wine lovers and food lovers. And another one that I hold actually here on Wall Street is an International Vegan Food Festival where you can culturally try vegan foods from around the world. But we try to do a little bit of everything, not just stuff just for vegans, but stuff for people who are not vegan that can come and see, hey, I can try, my grandmother's dish in whatever culture I may be and it be veganized. Or, I can, have some, take the kids out for a day out, even do things like a Halloween bash, but vegan. A lot of times, vegan kids can't go trick-or-treating because they're going to get, Snickers or whatever it may be. So we kind of hold an event there that's more family focused where kids can have that. We even do a holiday event as well with the same aspect to it.
What advice can you give someone who's thinking of trying it out and going vegan?
I would say have a slow transition. And, for me, it was pescatarian to vegetarian to vegan. I think a slow transition is the way to go. And fortunately now we have a ton of alternatives. So if you like something with a meaty flavor, you can have that. You can go to Publix, you can go to any grocery store and find those alternatives. So pick a dish that you really like and search up a vegan shift for that. And start with something like Meatless Mondays or saying, hey, one meal a day is going to be vegan. Maybe every lunch I'll have vegan. And then just compound on that and build on that. And, attend our events, reach a community as well that is in it. I noticed the people you're around, the people that encourage you will help you find more options. So when you're thinking, hey, I'm going to go out with my friends or a date night or whatever, you can maybe try the vegan option while you're there.
How can the community get involved?
Yeah, so the easiest way is to come to an event. We have events almost every weekend. So I recommend coming out and just meeting some of the local vegan community. We have a ton of vegan vendors out there. And we also have vendors who are not vegan, but they provide a vegan option. So when they're at events, of course, it's completely vegan. But you can meet the local community, the businesses that are here. But not just the businesses, but you can meet fellow vegans, fellow people that are not vegan, that are just vegan curious or veg curious as well. We do have volunteer opportunities. We also have meetups as well for like potlucks and other events where people can kind of come and hang out, and they can always find us online in social media, and you can see we have a growing community across Facebook groups. So we're pretty active here in Central Florida. We're one of the larger vegan vegetarian communities actually across the nation. So we have a good amount of options and a good community here.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
Be on the lookout of some of the large events that we have coming up. The International Vegan Food Festival that we have on Wall Street is a really great event for anybody to check out. We take over historic Wall Street as well as Court Street and Heritage Park behind it. Thank you to the Downtown Development Board for sponsoring that event. But that event is huge where you can find culturally rich foods. For me, that's something that made a difference for me being a Puerto Rican and Dominican, where I can find foods that, resemble what I would eat when I was younger, that my grandmother may make me as well. So I think that would resonate with a lot of people to try to come out to those events and have a good time.
And how can people find out more? Do you have a website? Social media?
So they can reach me on social media on Facebook or Instagram, Orlando Bearded Vegan. We do have a second Instagram page of Vegan Events Orlando, which is all about our events. As well, all of our events are on Facebook, Eventbrite. We even have a YouTube page as well.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much for meeting with me.
Thank you.
If you're enjoying this show, please subscribe to our channel and follow our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter accounts.